tendon of the extensor pollicis longus when the wrist is extended. Medial to this, the extensor tendons of the finger can be felt, the extensor digiti quinti proprius being separated from the tendons of the extensor digitorum communis by a slight furrow. The muscles of the hand are principally concerned, as regards surface form, in producing the thenar and hypothenar eminences, and cannot be individually distinguished. The thenar eminence on the radial side is larger and rounder than the hypothenar, which is a long, narrow elevation along the ulnar side of the palm. When the palmaris brevis is in action, it produces a wrinkling of the skin over the hypothenar eminence and a dimple on the ulnar border. On the back of the hand, the interossi dorsalis give rise to the elongated swellings between the metacarpal bones. The first forms a prominent fusiform bulging when the thumb is adducted. The others are not so marked. Arteries. Above the middle of the clavicle, the pulsation of the subclavian artery can be detected by pressing downward, backward, and medialward against the first rib. The pulsation of the axillary artery as it crosses the second rib can be felt below the middle of the clavicle, just medial to the coracoid process. Along the lateral wall of the axilla, the course of the artery can be easily followed close to the medial border of the coracobrachialis. The brachial artery can be recognized in practicality the whole of this extent along the medial margin of the biceps. In the upper 2/3 of the arm it lies medial to the humerus, but in the lower third it is more directly on the front of the bone. Over the lower end of the radius, between the styloid process and flexor carpi radialis, a portion of the radial artery is superficial and is used clinically for observations on the pulse. Veins. The superficial veins of the upper extremity are easily rendered visible by compressing the proximal trunks. Their arrangement is described on pages 660 to 662. Nerves. The uppermost trunks of the brachial plexus are palpable for a short distance above the clavicle as they emerge from under the lateral border of the sternocleidomastoideus. The larger nerves derived from the plexus can be rolled under the finger against the lateral axillary wall, but cannot be identified. The ulnar nerve can be detected in the groove behind the medial epicondyle of the humerus. End of section 56. Recording by Jean Luff.